Now that you've had a chance to view the Pygmalion Effect film, let's think about how it might apply in the workplace. First, let's talk about what happened. The first thing we saw was that the IQ scores of the supposed intellectual bloomers went up. Remember, there was nothing special about this group. The only difference between the intellectual bloomers and the non-intellectual bloomers was that the teachers thought the bloomer group would get smarter during the year. So what does this mean? It looks like teachers' positive expectations, how we think about people, can also make a real difference in how people behave. But why would positive expectations influence behavior? Expectations translated into certain specific teacher behaviors, a group of actions teachers actually did in the classroom that served as positive reinforcement to the intellectual bloomer students. Do you remember what they were? Let's take a look at them and then examine them one at a time. We'll then see how you can create positive expectations in the workplace. Climate. Teachers create a warmer climate. They are nicer to intellectual bloomers in their verbal and nonverbal behavior. Input factor. Teachers teach more material to intellectual bloomer children. Response opportunity. Teachers give intellectual bloomer children more chances to respond, let them talk longer, and teachers help shape their answers. Feedback. Intellectual bloomer children are praised more and given more and differentiated feedback for the wrong answers. Non-intellectual bloomer children were able to get away with the wrong answers. So let's take these one at a time, beginning with climate. Teachers create a warmer climate and they're nicer to intellectual bloomers in their verbal and nonverbal behavior. How can a manager create a warm climate at work? They can recognize employee achievements. They can take time out to get to know employees. They can thank employees for their work and encourage them. They can make sure that their verbal and nonverbal behaviors are positive. They can keep a balanced and positive mood at work. There are countless ways that you can create a warmer climate in the workplace. Let's look at the second factor. That was the input factor. Teachers teach more material to the intellectual bloomers. How can a manager teach more to employees? They can give employees new and different assignments that allow them to learn. They can provide training opportunities. They can hold lunches with employees where they share what they learned. There are probably many, many more ways that managers can help employees learn on the job. Let's look at the third factor then, response opportunity. Here, teachers give intellectual bloomer children more chances to respond, let them talk longer, and the teacher and children jointly shape answers. How could you create more response opportunities in the workplace? Managers can simply talk less and listen more. They can encourage employees to talk about their work challenges and work jointly with them to solve problems. When solving problems, managers can avoid giving solutions and instead ask clarifying questions. What if we did this? Is this a possibility? What would happen if? And so on. Let the employee lead the conversation. Help them with clarifying questions and jointly solve the problem. Then let's look at the final idea. Feedback. The intellectual bloomers were praised more and given more and differentiated feedback for wrong answers. Non-intellectual bloomers were able to get away with wrong answers. How does this translate into the workplace? Well, you have to look at those employees that aren't performing well and give them more feedback so that they can fix their performance. You'll give differentiated feedback to all employees, whether they're poor or good performers. This also means you need to be specific about what needs to be improved. We'll teach you more about how to do that in a later video. In summary, your positive expectations of employees help employees do well. In fact, the key here is that positive expectations are like positive feedback. They can help improve performance. So in your work as a manager, you can improve your motivational skills by including climate, a response opportunity, input factors, and feedback to both strong and weak performers in your repertoire of skills. Now let's do a quiz to help you distinguish and remember these factors. This is Tracy Jennings, and thanks for watching Giving Helpful Feedback.